Are you struggling to keep your viewers watching your YouTube videos all the way through to the end to build your watch times, so the YouTube algorithm will promote your videos more? Then let me share my intentional for watch time YouTube video script template that will boost your engagements and your watch times, which will help your videos rank higher on YouTube and also on Google for free. And in just a moment, I'm going to reveal a secret tip to get your viewers to binge watch your videos on your channel, which will really kickstart the algorithm to promote your videos more. Hi, I'm Amanda Vandergool. If you're new here, I'm from cleverdough.com, and with over 13 years of being on YouTube and over 7 million views on my channel, I've learned a thing or two about YouTube SEO and getting your videos to rank in the first positions in search, and using your YouTube video script is one of the key elements, and that's what we're going to dive into today. I first want to share a very personal story about why this is so important for me to share. You see, back in 2016, I was in a coma for 3 weeks, and I spent months afterwards in recovery, and I even woke up as a disabled lung person, no longer able to work. But it was my YouTube videos that kept my business going, that kept drawing in new, highly targeted leads for my business, making me sales, commissions, royalties, and ad revenue while I was asleep fighting for my life and the months afterwards. And then during my recovery, I spent hours and weeks and months diving deep into what had worked, because only a handful of my videos were driving this income lead generation for me for free, but the others were not. So I needed to figure out why some were working and some were not. And that's what I'm sharing with you, are all these YouTube SEO strategies. So I'm going to show you how to get the engagement you need from your viewer and that longer watch time so that YouTube will promote your video for you. And that's what we're going to learn today. So let's dive into what you need to consider when creating your YouTube video script. Because it's not just about sharing your content, it's about strategically placing your content in such a way that you keep your viewers engaged, interacting with your channel, and keeping them watching all the way to the end. And there are some tips that I've learned over the years from my favorite mentors and from things that I've experienced myself that I want to share with you so you can have the same results. Okay, so the very first thing is you need to make sure that your video script delivers on the promise that you're showing your potential viewers in your thumbnails and your titles. If you don't deliver on the promise of the thumbnail and the title, then people will stop watching your video once they realize they're not getting what they were looking for, and that will hurt your retention, which will ultimately hurt the algorithm wanting to promote your video for you, and it will drop dead in the water. And we don't want that. So what you want to do is, in the very first opening of your video, in your hook, you want to mention that promise so they know that they're in the right place, and it will keep them watching because they want to know the solution that they're looking for. Now, this is obviously for creating videos that promote your online business. If you're here because you just want to create videos that go viral, you can use these techniques, but it isn't exactly structured specifically for you. But feel free to use what works. Another thing that you really want to keep in mind when crafting your YouTube video script is to constantly use open loops. So an open loop is specifically set up to create curiosity so that your viewer will want to keep watching to find the solution, the closing of the loop. Does that make sense? So if you had an open loop where you're promising an extra piece that will add more value to your main promise of the solution that they were looking for, it will make them intrigued to want to watch until you close that loop. You know, for example, and this is a completely unrelated example, but I think it'll really drive home the message. If somebody were to open up a jar of honey and take a spoon and lift it up and go, and then suddenly stop and continue on, you want to know, did they taste it? Did it taste good? And so later on in the video, you see that person actually take the spoonful and go, oh, that is good. That closes the loop. So again, just an example to show you the idea of opening a loop, opening a jar of honey, and closing it again. That satisfaction of knowing the honey was delicious. And the key here is not to tell them exactly when you're going to close the loop so that they don't just scroll ahead to the end. You wouldn't want to say something like, and at the very end of this video, I'm going to tell you blah, 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 because that blah, blah, blah might be really interesting for them. And they zoom right to the end, watch it and leave. And they miss your main content and your call to action to do the thing that you are creating this video for. Okay, so we need to keep in mind YouTube SEO. Right? When we're creating our script, because YouTube will transcribe your video and it will hear all of the words in your script. So you want to make sure that you're using your main key phrase, that key phrase that you searched for to find out a good search volume and a low competition so that your video can rank faster, right? You want to make sure that you say your main key phrase right in the beginning, right in your hook. And you want to say it throughout your video from time to time. Not overly done, but from time to time to remind the algorithm that your viewer is in the right place. And you want to say it again at the end of your video as sort of a closure, and the algorithm will notice that as well. And not only your main key phrase, you also want to mention related key phrases or longer tail key phrases. So for example, let's use my how to bake a cake video. So in the very beginning, I opened that video with welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to bake a cake. And then throughout the video, I add in other longer tail key phrases like, and if you really wanted to know how to bake a cake at home from scratch for beginners, this is definitely for you, right? And then I might have related key phrases like, this is my favorite cake recipe of all time, which it really is. And then at the very end, I also said something like, and that's how you bake a cake. Right? So you want to structure in your key phrases, your longer tails and your related key phrases in your video content, but in a natural way that helps the algorithm, but is enjoyable for your viewer. You also want to really make sure you're delivering great value. And I don't mean it has to be high quality as far as like the video and this B-roll and all that thing. What I'm meaning is that you're providing the solution that your viewer is looking for. You're giving them the meat of what they're looking for and getting straight to the point. You don't want to go off on tangents too often. If you go on a tangent a little bit, make sure you ring it back in and make it related to your main content. Do it intentionally. Use storytelling, for example, to bring across that idea, or use metaphors like I did with the jar of honey to bring across the idea of the content. Don't waste your viewers' time. Also, whenever possible, use a personal story when relating your content, because it makes you a real human to your viewer, and it makes them connect with you and feel like they know, they like, they trust you. Just be authentic and don't worry about being raw. You know, it's okay to not be perfect. Actually, it's even better to not be perfect, because then your audience is going to relate to you more and you're going to get the action that you really want from your viewer better. Okay, now this is super important. When you're talking to the camera, talk to your perfect avatar. Okay, don't talk to a huge group of people. Like, talk specifically to your perfect viewer. So you, for example, you are my perfect viewer because you are looking for ways to market your business using YouTube marketing strategies that are set up for Evergreen, so you're not having to constantly pay for ads, right? And if that's not you, then this video is not interesting for you. Or perhaps you can use snippets, and that's okay. You're focusing on talking to your main avatar, and then other people may still find it interesting, and that's okay. That's good. And you need to make sure that the content of your video is all about your viewer, your viewer's end result, their desires, their goals, their problems, their struggles. Not about you. It's so fun for us to talk about our own experiences and what happened to us. And that's great as long as we can make it relevant to you, the viewer, right? Otherwise, why would you bother watching if it's just somebody talking about themselves? And a really great tip for you to know, because I know it can be completely tempting to want to have a ton of call to actions all at once. You'll see a lot of YouTubers do that, saying, like my video, subscribe, share, comment, and so on, all at the same time. Unfortunately, when you ask your viewer to do too many call to actions all at the same time, it becomes overwhelming. And when there's overwhelm, they will do nothing. So instead, what you want to do is not that you can't have more than one call to action. You just have to very strategically place it within your video script. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in just a moment, so that they're focusing on that one call to action at a time. You're going to love how I set this up. This is something I've worked on over years, and I have just found the perfect structure to really help you get the most out of each call to action. I really hope you'll like it. But before we go into the video script, one more thing about those call to actions. When you're crafting your video script, when you're coming up with content, you need to have one main call to action that is the sole purpose of the video. All right? And it can be to get likes on your video. It can be to get subscribers. It can be to have people comment and engage or share your content. Or it can be to go and opt in for your free lead magnet. Or it can be to go buy your thing or your affiliate product that you're referring. But you need to choose what is the one main call to action and focus your entire script around being related to that one call to action. The other ones are just peppered in as engagement factors, but not as your main call to action. So that's really important. And again, if you're just starting out and you don't have a product or an affiliate product to refer to, or even a lead magnet to have them opt into a list, that's okay. It can be to just build your channel, build the credibility on your channel, and really get the algorithm to categorize your channel by making your main call to action about the engagement. Then just choose the like, the share, the comment, but choose one main one. We're actually using our videos to filter out our perfect lead. We don't want everybody to get into our courses or buy our products, because then we're going to have refunds if they're not the perfect client, and they're going to just cause you more headaches than the success that you're really hoping for. So we're actually using our video content to filter out our perfect leads. We're letting them know in advance, who is this good for and who is this not for, to save you a bunch of headaches and to save them a lot of stress. So you're going to want to make sure that the content of your video is related specifically to that perfect client. But you also want to make sure that the content that you're sharing is evergreen, that it's always relevant now, 5 years from now, 5 years ago, 10 years from now. You want to make sure that that content is relevant, because then it will continue evergreen to work for you. On that note, you can totally take advantage of trends, but you just want to make sure that the content related to that trend is something that would be relevant in 5 or 10 years. The reason that it's okay and you actually want to take advantage of trends once in a while is because there will be fewer competition for you and more search volume for those trends. So it's a chance for your channel to grow faster. But again, we want to filter out the people that are watching those videos to make sure they are the perfect lead, so you're not suddenly getting a video that goes viral and it ruins your channel, right? But you want to make sure that it's going to be relevant even after the trend is over. Let me give you an example. So my how to bake a cake video, right? It has a general trend over time. It's not a trendy thing. However, when COVID hit, it suddenly became a very trendy thing because people were not able to go out and buy a cake for people's birthdays or anniversaries or celebrations. They had to make it themselves. But a lot of people had kind of forgotten or never been taught how to bake a cake. So suddenly my video skyrocketed because people were looking for that specific trend of how do I do these celebrations at home in a safe way by myself. And I totally saw my channel just soar because of that. And then after COVID kind of relaxed down and people got more comfortable going out and buying cakes again, my video views dropped as well. And you can see it in this chart actually. You can see that tall peak and then the drop, and then it just continued on the way it was before. So you want to make sure that when you do take advantage of a trend, that it makes sense long term. People are always going to want to know how to bake a cake. It just happened to also be a perfect video for a specific trend. And in my case, it happened accidentally because I already had the video up. But if this trend had happened in the moment and I didn't have that video yet and I was a cake channel, I would know people are searching for this right now. I'm going to make a video about it right now, but it will also work long term. So that's what I'm talking about. Psst. If you do take advantage of a trend, make sure it's super relevant to your target audience. Don't just take advantage of a trend because it's a really big thing. If it's not super specific to your audience, it will actually ruin your channel. And I know this because when I posted my how to bake a cake video years ago, like way back in 2011, I had no idea it was going to go viral. Again, like I said earlier, I accidentally did my SEO correctly. I accidentally wrote my YouTube video script correctly. Actually, I ad-libbed, but I happened to do it right. And it took off. But my channel was, at that time, more about helping parents with teaching their children about money. Suddenly, the algorithm was confused and it kept sending all these people that wanted to learn about cake decorating and baking cakes, and they would get so confused when they came to my channel and it was about teaching kids about money. So you want to make sure, and had I known this way back then, I would have just set up a different channel. But unfortunately, I didn't. Although, fortunately for you, I was able to learn things that I can share with you. Make sure the trend is relevant to your market, or make it relevant to your market. All right, I'm about to share this video script for you. And don't forget that I still have that other tip that I'm going to share with you on how to get bingeable stuff watched on your channel. I'll share it in just a moment. But before I do, I just have a quick question. What have been the challenges that you have faced so far with trying to get engagement from your viewers and getting those longer watch times? Leave me a comment because I read all of them and I really want to know, and maybe there's something that I can help you with in a future video, or even in our community, we might be able to help each other. So if you see somebody else's comment and you have a tip or an idea, go ahead and feel free to share your thoughts on that too. Together, we can master the YouTube algorithm. So yes, I promise I will share how to get people watching your channel videos as bingeable content, kind of like Netflix, right? First, let's dive into the YouTube video script template that I use to make sure that people are engaged with my videos, watching all the way to the end. And this is something that I've perfected year after year after year. I don't use this on every single video because once in a while it's good to just do a quick vlog and connect with your viewers. But you want to do this for most of your videos because your videos should be set up intentionally with the occasional vlog style just to interact with those hyper fans of yours who want to get to know you more. All right. So the very first part of the script is your hook. Like I mentioned earlier, it's that very first sentence that opens your video and talks about the promise that you shared in your thumbnail and your title, and entices them with an intrigue that makes them desperate to watch your video to find that solution. And you want to make sure your SEO, your main key phrase, is in that first sentence. Do you want to see an example? I'm going to go over the hook that I shared with you at the very beginning of this video, and let me show you what I did. Are you struggling to keep your viewers watching your YouTube videos all the way through to the end to build your watch times, so the YouTube algorithm will promote your videos more? Then let me share my intentional for watch time YouTube video script template that will boost your engagements and your watch times, which will help your videos rank higher on YouTube and also on Google for free. I did something in this hook that I only recommend you do when you can't put it straight in the very first sentence. It is okay to put your main key phrase in the second sentence if it's going to cause more intrigue for your viewer, and that's why I chose to do it this way. I focused first on the problem that you were facing, right? Struggling to get your viewers to watch your videos all the way through to the end so the algorithm would categorize and promote your video for you, right? Then in the second sentence, I drop in my main key phrase to let the algorithm know what this video is about to categorize it correctly. Right after the hook, you want to give an open loop, all right? So you want to give them a reason to stick around all the way to the end. Something that's intriguing, that's related to the hook, to the title, to the thumbnail, that is like an additional problem or an additional solution that you're going to solve for them that's really intriguing. So an example with my how to bake a cake video, I could have, had I known how to do this properly back in 2011, I could have opened my video with welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to bake a cake. And then my open loop could have been, did you know you can actually bake a cake without milk or butter? I'll show you in just a little bit why that is and how it works, right? And then later on when I was doing my video, I could then close that loop by showing them and explaining how it's possible to actually bake a cake without butter or milk or oil of any sort, right? So the next thing after the open loop is you want to do a quick intro, like quick as in like 5 seconds to 10 seconds max. You don't want to have some sort of introductory video playing. People will drop off. That used to work on YouTube. It would kind of add credibility and authority. It no longer is the case. People just want authenticity and they want to get into the meat of the content right away. But you do want to take advantage of the fact that you've just opened this loop. So people are wanting to stick around as a moment for you to introduce yourself and how your credibility, your authority in this topic is related to what they want. So have a listen to my introduction that I did in this video and just listen to how I connected the main topic into my credibility. Hi, I'm Amanda Vandergool. If you're new here, I'm from cleverdough.com, and with over 13 years of being on YouTube and over 7 million views on my channel, I've learned a thing or two about YouTube SEO and getting your videos to rank in the first positions in search, and using your YouTube video script is one of the key elements, and that's what we're going to dive into today. So do you see how I did that, where I just introduced myself and I showed my credibility and how it relates to the content of this video, right? Like you wouldn't want to learn about a YouTube video script template from somebody who's never had success on YouTube, right? You want to learn it from somebody who actually knows how to keep people watching and giving the value and making the algorithm understand and promote your videos for you. But keep it short. All right, so the next part of your video script is going to be your main content section. This is where you are giving true value that helps answer that problem that your viewer is having. You're going to want to present the first half of the information. We're going to save half of the content for later so that we can throw in a couple of call to actions, sprinkling them in to get the viewer to engage. And wherever possible, highlight each of your concepts, each of your ideas and thoughts with a story or a picture, something that they can relate to. And use storytelling to really connect with your audience so they understand how it will help them in their situation. And also, we remember stories much longer than we retain just pure information. That's why in school, they always told us lessons through storytelling. And in this part where you're sharing your first part of the content, you're also showing your viewer the opportunity that your solution will give them, right? We want to create this opportunity, and then later we're going to kind of show them the transformation that will take place. And then finally, we're going to take the ownership. And this is something I learned from Jeff Walker from his product launch formula. And I use this strategy in all of my scripts so that I'm creating this overarching arc of this transition the viewer gets in my video. Let me give you an example. So if in this part 1 content section, you are showing your viewers how to set up their YouTube SEO, it shows them the opportunity of how by using this YouTube SEO, they could get their videos to rank as well. And guess what? You can use AI to help you with any content gaps. You will have an idea of what you want to teach, but there might be more that your avatar is actually needing to know. So you can use AI to have a conversation with it and ask it, so this is my perfect lead. This is my perfect avatar. And this is the topic I want to talk about. What would be some of the problems that my perfect lead or avatar has that I could solve in this video? And it will list out things that maybe you hadn't thought of that you can then add to your content. After you give this first main content, now we're going to sprinkle in our first call to action. I like to use this part to get people to comment on my video, to ask a specific question that's related to that first content so that they have to write the answer in the comments. Do you remember when I asked you what your biggest challenge was with getting people to watch all the way through and engage with your videos? I was putting in my call to action for engagement specifically to get a comment. Did you leave a comment? Because if you didn't, I'm gonna know. Right after your call to action, take the opportunity to remind your viewer, because they will have potentially forgotten, about that open loop promise that you gave at the very beginning. A simple reminder that it's still coming up. So for example, you could say something like, remember that secret tip that I told you about just a minute ago? Don't worry, I'm going to share it with you in just a moment. And again, don't say specifically when, but you know that you're going to share it, therefore you are going to deliver on it, and that is going to make your viewer feel satisfied and happy. And they're going to want to keep watching because they want to know the answer, right? Don't you want to know how to create a bingeable series on your channel? Don't worry, I will share it. Then dive straight into the main content part 2, the second half of your content. Now, if you have a lot of content, you can separate this into 3 sections, putting call to actions in between each. But just focus on 2 for now so that you have a bit of sprinkling time to put your call to actions in. So in this part of your content, you're going to continue building on what you already shared in the first part, the next logical steps, the next logical solutions. AI can actually help you organize all of your points to make a logical journey for your viewer. I do that all the time because the way my mind works is not always the way your mind works. And you really want to focus on creating the transformation within this section where you're actually showing them the how-to or the concept of what they can do to achieve that result they want. So for example, in this video, my second section of content is the transformation, showing you exactly what script outline you can use for your video scripts, step by step, so you actually have the how-to of doing it for yourself. And because you're actually delivering and you're helping them, you're authentically and actually helping them, you are going to build know, like, and trust with your viewer. Because how can you not like somebody who is genuinely helping you? And if you're struggling with what on earth do I add in the second part of my video, I've kind of already given it all, ask AI to help you. Ask it, I've given this, but I want to go even deeper and add even more value. What could I share? And it's amazing what it comes up with. Now it's time, yet again, for a call to action. Again, this is the sprinkling effect. So in this call to action, we want them to do an engagement thing, whether it's to like, to share, something like that. So you can ask the viewer if they found the information that you've shared with them helpful. And if so, to please do let you know by giving a like or a dislike so that you'll know the kind of content to create for your channel to help them even more. People like to be helpful and to help you understand because then it benefits them. They get to have more of what they're looking for and less of what they're not looking for. If you had a third content piece, then you could sprinkle in a call to action to subscribe to your channel later. If you only have 2 pieces, you can do it right after asking for the like. That is okay. Because you could do something like, if you found this helpful so far, give me a like, let me know. You would do me a huge favor. If you don't like it, go ahead and hit dislike. It's okay. It helps me know what content to provide for you, what is going to help you the most. And I really appreciate that. Also, if you have been finding this really helpful, did you know that you can subscribe to my channel? It's 100% for free. But if you do, then make sure that you hit that notification bell and check all notifications, or else the algorithm actually doesn't let you know when my next video comes out to help you. So definitely make sure you do that. And then it's time to close that open loop. We need to solve whatever it was that we promised in the very beginning of the video, like I'm going to do in just a moment. And watch how I do it. Right after you solve that open loop, because you want to get them to watch all the way to the end of your video and you're not quite done yet, open a second loop. And this second loop is going to be related to something else that you're going to teach later. And this second open loop is to help them really take ownership of the solution that you've provided, to really make them feel like, yeah, I've got this and I'm ready for that next problem. So this second open loop is going to address the next related problem now that they've solved their first problem. Again, I'll give you an example in just a minute. And then this is where we're going to do our third call to action, which is our main call to action that the whole video is focused on getting to. And that is to ask them to opt into your newsletter, opt in for your free lead magnet, buy your product, go to your referral affiliate link. Whatever your main call to action is, you're doing that now after you've already delivered great content and your viewer feels connected with you and knows that they can trust you and that whatever you're offering must be valuable and good. Whether or not it's exactly the right thing for them, they're going to be more open to taking a look at it. Okay, so then you're going to close the second loop by telling them the next related problem that this solution created. You actually are going to find out the answer to how to solve that second problem right over here. And you're going to be pointing to your next video on your channel. And that's where they're going to go to actually get that solved. So instead of ending your video and giving cues that your video is over, you're actually leading them naturally into your next video to start creating that bingeable content, right? It's a little sneak peek into what I'm going to share in just a minute. use words like, and I'm going to show you how to do that right over here where you're pointing to the video. Or click on the video on your screen right now and I'll show you exactly how to do that. Or I'll meet you over here and I'll show you exactly how we can do that. Again, the idea is to keep your viewer binge watching your videos so that you're going to get better rankings in the algorithm and you're really building that know, like, trust with that viewer. You know, it's been said that somebody needs to see something at least 7 times before they actually will take action on it. So wouldn't it be amazing if you were able to get your viewer to watch 7 videos, maybe not all at once, but they're going to want to come back and really build that know, like, and trust with you and then be your avid fan and loyal customer for years and years and years. All right, let me show you an example. Are you ready? If you found what I shared in this video helpful, would you do me a huge favor and give me a like? Let me know. And honestly, if you didn't like it, it's okay. Go ahead and hit the down like because it does help. It even shows the algorithm engagement, even if it's not good engagement. It's not going to help your channel as much, obviously, but it still shows engagement, and that is a trigger that helps the algorithm promote your video. So if you did find it helpful, please do help me out and give it a thumbs up. And remember that you can subscribe to my channel, but please only do that if you actually want to learn more about how to use YouTube marketing for your online business strategies, and success strategies for your online business. If you're looking for cake decorating, please don't subscribe because it's ruined my channel. But remember, hit that notification bell. Why? Because otherwise YouTube's not going to let you know when my video comes out. And that's really annoying. Do you see what I did there? It's time for me to close the loop for you. Are you ready? All right, so here is the secret that I actually promised in this video for you on how to get viewers to watch your channel like a binge-worthy show like Netflix, right? It's by using the PS path that I also learned from Jeff Walker. The PS path stands for the problem, solution, next related problem path. So your video needs to let the viewer know what their problem currently is, solve that problem, make them feel really good about that, but then hint at the fact that because they've solved it, there's now another related problem that they need to solve. And you do that by watching the next video, like I hinted at just a minute ago. So now that you actually know the YouTube video script layout that I use, that has worked so well for years and years and years on my channel, the next problem for you is knowing how to record those video productions in a way that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg and is very satisfying for your viewer. So you can truly engage your viewers and build that trust over time. And trust me, you don't need expensive equipment for this. I'm going to show you all the tricks of what I use. Do you see what I did there? I did the next open loop. I solved your initial problem, right? Knowing what kind of a video script to use for your videos. And then I showed you what the next related problem is. Sure, you've got your video script, but how do you record it? Specifically for longer watch times, right? In the most intriguing way, on a shoestring budget. And by saying that, it means if you're new to recording videos, or even if you're already familiar with it, but you want to know some extra tips, you're going to be intrigued to want to watch the next video to learn how to do that. And why? Because I've probably built a lot of trust doing this video. I actually gave you something that will help. And if I didn't build your trust, I clearly need to do a better job. But it also means you're now expecting the next video to give value similar or even better than this video, right? And so we want to use that and make sure we deliver on that promise. Okay, so keep watching and I'm going to show you exactly where and when to tell them to do that. But first, would you like to go deeper into this? This is actually one video of the 10-part series that I've created. This is video number 5. And there are 5 more videos and 4 previous videos. If you'd like to get access to all of them for free, I'll send them to you through email, one every day. And if you want to go faster, you can. All you have to do is go to cleverdough.com/evergreen leads. I'll leave a link on the screen I'll put one in the description for you as well. I promised I'd show you how to do that. Okay, so now that you know how to craft the perfect YouTube video script using my template, so that your viewers will watch all the way through and engage along the way to really get the algorithm working for you and building your watch time, so that you rank faster and higher in the search results. It's time to show you exactly how to record those videos using some amazing tips that are going to make it so much easier for you on a shoestring budget, giving good quality. I'll tell you why in the next video, why my videos in this series are a little blurry. It will make you laugh, and don't worry, my future videos will be much clearer. But I wanted to do this for you because I thought it would be really helpful to show you perfect is not done. Just get it done. So head over here and I'll show you exactly how we can do that right now. Do you see how I did that? I didn't tell you the video was over. I just directed you over here. Why are you not over here? Go here. Go.